In this video, I'll introduce you to XamMaskedEditor, one of the editor controls in NetAdvantage for WPF Line of Business, which you can use to create editors allowing your users to only enter input which conforms to certain formatting or type of input rules. I've created a sample project here to illustrate some of the capabilities of the XamMaskedEditor and the flexibility it allows you in specifying the input types and also the formatting of the values that these editors accept. Running the sample application, we have a window with a few masked edit boxes. Running the sample application, we have a window with a few XamMaskedEditors set up to accept different input types and formats. So let's start top to bottom. The first XamMaskedEditor is set to accept 6 alphanumeric characters, and if we enter a smaller amount of characters and try to move to the next editor, we get an error. So what I need to do here is I need to specify 6 values in order to be able to move to the next editor. And these values can only be alphanumeric. I cannot enter special characters such as comma, dot, slash, and so on. I need to enter alphanumeric characters. In the next XamMaskedEditor, we've set up a mask which allows only alphanumeric characters, but in this case, the value is not required. So we can enter just a single value, a single alphanumeric value, and move to the next editor. Of course, we can also enter all the other values, but again, the difference with the previous one is that in this case, the user doesn't have to enter a value with a specified length in order for the value to be valid. The third XamMaskedEditor here has been set up to accept a character from a set. So we're actually setting up this masked editor to accept 2 characters from the set A, B, C, D, E, F. And actually these are capitals only. So if the user tries to enter anything but a capital letter, nothing happens. So they have to enter 2 of the letters within this set in order to have the XamMaskedEditor accepted as a valid value. The next XamMaskedEditor has been set up to only accept 1 character from the set. So this is using pretty much the same logic as in the previous one, but it accepts a single value instead of 2 values. The next XamMaskedEditor shows the capability and the flexibility of the XamMaskedEditor to handle complex masks. In this case, we've set up this XamMaskedEditor to accept 4 triples containing numeric values from 1 to 255, basically allowing us to create a IPv4 masked edit box. So as I'm setting these, you can see how helpful this functionality can be in controlling and validating input in your line of business application. The next XamMaskedEditor is set up to accept a hex value. Even though this is useful in only certain cases, it just goes to show that you can apply the XamMaskedEditor to a variety of different scenarios, and you can rely on it to validate and format the input your users provide. In the last XamMaskedEditor here, we've set up this editor to accept alphanumeric values, converting them to uppercase. So even as I enter lowercase values, those are automatically converted to uppercase values. I can also enter uppercase values, and those are displayed as uppercase values. I can also enter numbers which remain as they are entered. So let's now take a look at the masks that are used to validate this input. So in the first case, required alphanumeric characters, we specify a masks containing 5 letters A to denote that we expect 5 alphanumeric characters to be entered in this box, and that this value is actually required. In the second XamMaskedEditor, we are expecting 7 alphanumeric values, except that the difference is that they're not required, hence the lowercase difference. So in this case, if you'd like to have required values, you have to specify the mask in uppercase A, denoting alphanumeric. In this case, it's alphanumeric input as well. However, the value is not required and is of maximum length of 7. Moving down to the next sample, where we require the user to enter 2 characters from a set. We specify that using char, then the length of the string that we expect the user to enter, and then the set of values that they can choose from. We prefix the mask with curly braces when we're using keywords such as char, number, and so on. And if we're editing just a simple mask, we don't need to specify the curly braces, and also to surround the mask with curly braces itself. Moving down to the next sample, where we expect the user to enter only one of a set of specified characters. Again, prefix the mask with open and close curly braces, then open a curly brace character. We expect 1 character from this set of values. Moving along to the next sample here, that's the IPv4 format. In this case, again, we'll be using a type for the input that is expected in the XamMaskedEditor. So we need to prefix the mask with open and closed curly braces. So then, for each of these expressions, we expect a number, and that number to be in the range of 0 to 255, which is then followed by a dot, which is then again followed by a number in the range of 0 to 255, and so on, allowing us to build a mask validating IPv4 addresses. The hex format is relatively simple. All we need to specify is 0x and then 4 h's to specify that we expect a hexadecimal value that's of length 4. If we'd like to have a hexadecimal value of length 5, all we need to do is add 1 more h here. If we'd like to have our input converted to uppercase, all we need to do is put a greater sign before the string of alphanumeric characters that are expected in the mask. This ensures that all the input the user enters will be automatically converted to uppercase. If we'd like to have all input converted to lowercase, all we need to do is replace this with a less than sign, and this ensures that all characters, even though entered in uppercase, will be immediately converted to lowercase by the XamMaskedEditor. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how simple it is to use the XamMaskedEditor and how flexibly it can adapt to your different data input scenarios.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.